Forever glorified be the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh O Elohim. Glorified be Adonai Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and glorified be the Ruach HaKodesh. Alright, this led by the Spirit, we're going to do the book of TOBIT. It's a book taken away by the Baal sun worshipping Catholic Church for a reason. Let's just jump in. This book tells the story of TOBIT, son of TOBIL. TOBIT means Yah is good, and TOBIL means that means the favor of Yahweh. Now, son of Haniel, okay, and Haniel means Yahweh's mercy, you know what I'm saying, grace, gift, you know what I'm saying, favor, pretty much. Now, son of Aduel, son of son of Aduel, son of Gabriel, son of Raphael, of the descendants of Asiel, of the tribe of Naphtali. Naphtali means one of our tribes, and it means wrestling. Somebody's wrestling with good and evil, so to speak. Who in the days of King Shalmaneser of Assyria, the same thing, zodiac sun worshipping, which Shalmaneser means fire worshiper, you know what I'm saying, and Gabriel, means that's Gabriel, that's the sun, Yahweh's light, you know what I mean, and let's proceed. Yes, of the Assyrians was taken captive from the Assyrians was taken into captivity from this, which is to the south of Kadesh, holy Naphtali, in the upper Galilee, the world, above Asher towards the west, and north of Pogar. Okay. Tobit walked in the ways of truth and righteousness with all the days of my life. I performed many acts of charity for my kindred of my people who had gone with me in exile to Nineveh. Nineveh means the city where you've been fished, the great hook, the terrible city, the Assyrians. When I was in my own country, in the land of Israel, where I was still a young man, the whole tribe of my ancestor Naphtali deserted the house of David and Jerusalem. This city has been chosen from amongst all the tribes of Israel, where all the tribes of Israel should offer sacrifices, and where the temple of the Most High dwelt, and be considered an establishment for all generations forever. All my kindred and our ancestors' house of Naphtali sacrificed to the king, to the idols that King Jeroboam of Israel had erected in Dan and on all the mountains of Galilee, basically sun worshipping, moon, star worshipping idols. But I alone went often to Jerusalem for festivals, as is prescribed for Israel by an everlasting decree. I would hurry off to Jerusalem with the first fruits of the crop and first flocks of and the firstlings of the flock, and tithes of the cattle, and the first hearings of the sheep. I will give these to the priests, the sons of Aaron, at the altar, likewise a tenth of the grain, wine, olive oil, pomegranates, and the rest of the fruits to the sons of Levi, who minister at Jerusalem. Also for 6 years I will give up a second tenth in my money and go and distribute it in Jerusalem. A third tenth I will give to the orphans and widows in the coverts who had attached themselves to Israel. I will bring it and give it to them in the third year, and will eat in accordance to the ordinance decree concerning it in the laws of Moses, and according to the instructions of Deborah, the mother of my father, Tobel, for my father had died and left me an orphan. Deborah means, worker bees, basically the men of the Most High, a member of our family, and by her I became the father and son of who I named Tobias. Okay, so the name Tobias means Yahweh has been good, Yahweh's goodness, that's what it means. And Tobit means Yahweh's good. So Yahweh's goodness. So basically he was the only one left, It has what? We'll proceed. Taken captive to Nineveh. After I was carried away captive to Assyria and came as a captive to Nineveh, every one of my kindred and my people ate the food of the Gentiles, sun worshipping. But I kept myself from eating the food of the Gentiles, because I was mindful of the Most High with all my heart. The Most High Yahweh gave me favor and good standings with Shalmaneser, with the fire worshippers, and I used to buy everything he needed until until his death. I used to go into media. That's the world. What like pretty much what the popular thing. Like the trend. Pretty much. Just talk about Christianity. You'll see how it goes. And that is the world's religion. I buy for him there, while in the country of media left bags of silver worth 10 talents and trust with Gabriel, the brother of Gabriel. But when Shalmaneser died and his son Sennacherib reigned in his place, the highways into Media became unsafe, and I could no longer go there. Sennacherib means sin has replaced my brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means. You know what I'm saying? Because sun worshiping had replaced them. Now it says here, in the days of Shalmaneser, I performed many acts of charity. In my kindred, those of my tribe, I would give my food to the hungry and my clothing to the naked. And if I saw the dead body of any of my people thrown out in the wall of Nineveh, I would bury it. It also buried any whom King Sennacherib put to death. When he came fleeing from Judah in those days of judgment that that the King of heaven executed upon him because of his blasphemy. Pretty much the wrath of the Most High that came, saying on the sun worshiping sin, and he looked for. So when Chernobyl looked for them, he could not find them. Then one of the Ninevians went and informed the king about me, that I was burying them, so I hid myself. But when I realized that the king knew about me and that I was being searched for, put to death, I was afraid and I ran. Then all my prosperity was confiscated. Nothing was left to me. There was nothing taken into the royal treasury except my wife Anna and my son Tobias. Anna means, by grace, you know what I'm saying? So pretty much, by grace, he was able to survive, not get killed. Now it says here, but not 40 days passed, for two of Sennacherib's sons killed him, and they fled to the mountains of Ararat. That's the mountains, the high places, Esau. And his son Esarhaddon reigned after him. Esarhaddon means he that's quick to bind is swift. He that is swift to bind, my brothers, take my brothers, pretty much how they, the Inquisition, and how they enslaved everybody into believing Christianism. Now let's proceed. Now it says here that then it says here, yeah, he took his brother, right, and he appointed Ahikar, the son of my brother Anahel, over all accounts of his kingdom, and he had authority over the entire administration. Akazar received Akazar interceded for me, and I returned to Nineveh. And Ahikar was chief cupbearer, keeper of the signet. Basically, Ahikar means the Messiah, Mashak are scriptures, They became the chief of the signet, the ring, sun worshiping, and in charge of the administration of the accounts under King Sennacherib of Assyria. So Esarhaddon reappointed him. He was my nephew and so a close relative. Yes, because we could relate to our scriptures even though they've been manipulated. Then during the reign of Esarhaddon, I returned home, and my wife Anne and my son Tobias were restored to me. At our festivals of Pentecost, which is the sacred festivals of weeks, a good dinner was prepared for me, and I reclined to eat. When the table was set for me and all the abundance of food placed before me, I said to my son Tobias, "Go, my child, and bring whoever poor person you may find of the people amongst the exiles of Nineveh, who is wholeheartedly mindful of the Most High, and he shall eat together with me. I will wait for you until you come back." So Tobias went to look for some poor person of our people. When he had returned, he said, "Father, here I am, my child." Then he went on to say, "Look, Father, one of our people has been murdered and thrown into the marketplace, and he lies there strangled." Then I sprang up, left dinner before even tasting it, and removed the body from the square and laid it in one of the rooms until sunset. When I buried it, when I returned, I washed my hands and ate my food in sorrow. Then I remembered the prophecy of Amos, how he said against Bethel, the house of Most High, "Your festival should turn into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation." And I wept. Basically, as that he could relate a little bit with some of, because he took some of our scriptures, so he was allowed to somewhat keep the law, statutes, and commandments best he could. Tobit becomes blind. When the sun had set, I went and dug the grave and buried him. And my neighbors laughed and said, "Is he still not afraid?" He has already been hunted down to be put to death for doing this, and he ran away, yet here he is again burying the dead. That same night I washed myself and went into my courtyard by the wall of the courtyard, and my face was uncovered because of the heat. I did not know that there were sparrows on the wall. Their fresh droopings fell in my eyes and produced white film. I went to physicians to be healed, but the more they treated me, ointments, the more my vision was obscured by the white film until I became completely blind. For years, I remained unable to see. All my kindred were sorry for me, and Akikar took care of me for 2 years before he went to Elimas. Elimas is pretty much for Jesus, pretty much sorcery, like Jesus, the son of the world, the white Jesus, and the white film, because in Eastern culture, white means death, stale, um, you know, no cold, saying no prosperity, and when Elamaz is for Jesus, that means that they perverted the Messiah, the Messiah, you know what I mean? They made him white, he's not white. Now it says Tobit's wife earns livelihood. At the time, most of my wife Anna earned money at home at woman's work. She used to send what she made to the owners, and they would pay wages for her one day, the seventh day, trusting when she cut off a piece, she would send it to owners, and they paid full wages and also gave her a young goat for a meal. When she returned to me, the goat began calling her and said, where did you get this goat? It is surely not stolen, is it? Return it to the owners, for we have no rights to eat anything stolen. But she said, it was given to me as a gift in addition to my wages. But I did not believe her and told her to return it to the owners. I became flushed with anger because of her over this. Then she applied to me, where are your acts of charity? Where are your righteous deeds? These things are known about. Okay, basically, he had lost contact with reaching out to the people. He was blind because they perverted, like I said, and the goat means pretty much how you live here with bad wages, man, and under knowledge, good and evil, having to navigate through that. Now, Tobit's prayer says, then with much grief and anguish of heart I wept, and with groaning began to pray. You are righteous, O Yahweh Elohim, and all your deeds are just, all your ways are mercy and truth. You judge the world, and now, O Elohim, remember that me and look favorably upon me. Do not punish me for my sins and for my unwitting offense and those that my ancestors committed before you. They sinned against you and disobeyed your commandments, so you gave us over to the plunder, exile, and death, to become the talk, the byword, and an object of reproach amongst all the nations. Amongst all the nations whom you have dispersed us, and now your many judgments are true, and exacting penalty from me for my sins, for we have not kept your commandments and have not walked in accordance with truth before you. So now deal with me as you will. Command my spirit to be taken from me, so that I may be released from the face of the earth and become dust. For it is better for me to die than to live, because I have had to listen to undeserved insults, and great is the sorrow within me. Command, O Elohim, that I be released from this distress. Release me and go to the eternal home. Do not, O Elohim, turn my face away from me, for it is better for me to die than to see much distress in my life and to listen to insults. Basically, he felt like, yeah, man, it was lost cause. He can't reach out to the people. Everybody mocks him, He can't restore the righteousness of the ways of Israelite, right? It's like a lot of people feel, but let's proceed. Sarah falsely accused. On the same day of Ekbatan and Media, that's the one who bonds, It also happened that Sarah means the bride, a princess, a righteous woman, like, us, the daughter of Regil. Regil is it's an angel of justice. Also like the left, the left leg, the left leg of the Orion constellation. Justice was reapproached by one of her father's maids, for she had been married to 7 husbands, and the wicked demon asmodeus had killed each one of them before they had been with her, as is customary for wives. So the maid said to her, you are the one who kills your husbands. See, you have already been married 7 husbands and have not borne the name of a single one of them. Why do you beat us? Because your husbands are dead. Go with them, maid. We never see a son or a daughter of yours. Okay. The 7 husbands is that the number 7 in the chakra. When you open that's somebody that that it has a potential or the ability to really understand the scriptures and be called into this ministry. But see, she was being tormented by the demon asmodeus. That means a demon of lust, wrath, revenge, and gamble. See, and that's one of the most deadliest demons because see, and that's what asmodeus, asmodiva. Like some of these girls call themselves diva. That's sometimes people like 'cause I've been through that before. When you walk in this walk, lust, it could be dangerous, and also gambling. I'm saying, not only with gamble as in playing crap games and all that, but taking chances with your life and with your blessings. I'm saying, and also wrath because every time you do something, you get closer to the Most High. This you know this demon gets released to take wrath on you, take revenge on you. I'm saying, it's a destructive demon. You know what I'm saying. And a lot of people are plagued by that, especially when you do like you know heavy drugs like opioid and meth and excessive alcohol too. You know what I'm saying, could lead to a lot of things, man. Take heed. It says Sarah's prayer for death. On that day she was grieved in spirit and wept when she had gone. We're gonna do up to chapter 7, and then we'll go through the other 7 chapters, so it won't be too long because we're already going on 16 minutes. Grieving in spirit and wept when she had gone up to her father's upper room. She intended to hang herself, but she thought it over and said, "Never shall they reproach my father, saying to him, 'You had only one beloved daughter.'" But she hanged herself because of her distress. Yeah, basically, don't lose hope, man. I'm saying, if you're going through some things, just because you're gonna be tried to fire. You had only one, and I shall bring my father in his old age down to sorrow, to Hades. It is better for me not to hang myself, but to pray to O Yahweh Elohim, that I may die not listening to these reproaches anymore, and that sometime with hands outstretched towards the window, yeah, the windows of heaven, man, towards the north, the chamber to the north, Orion, our home. I said here, and pray instead, "Blessed are you, O merciful Elohim. Blessed is your name forever. Let all your works praise you forever and now, O Yahweh Elohim. Turn my face to you and raise my eyes towards thy command, that I may be released from earth and not listen to such reproach anymore. And you know, O Master, that I am innocent of any defilement with a man, and that I have not disgraced my name or the name of my father. In my name of my father, in the land of my exile, I am my father's only child. He has no other child to be his heir. He has no close relatives or other kindred for whom I should keep myself as wife. Already, I should not keep myself as wife. Already 7 husbands of mine have died. Why should I? Why should I still live? But it is not pleasing to you, O Elohim, to take my life. Hear me in my disgrace. Right. So it says, in answer to his prayer, right? Salaki family. At the very moment, the prayers of both of them were heard in the glorious presence of the Most High. So Raphael, that means the spirit of healing, you know what I'm saying? The angel of healing was sent to heal both of them to Tobit by removing the white film from his eyes, so that he might see Elohim's light with his eyes, and Sarah, daughter of Raguel, by giving her in marriage to Tobit's son, Tobias' son Tobit, and by setting her free. The wicked demon asmodeus, for the Tobias was entitled to have her before all others who had desired to marry her. At the same time, Tobit returned from the courtyard in his house. Sarah, daughter of Raguel, came down from the upper room. All right, you know what? I'm gonna just leave that, make it three parts or 4 parts, because I already went a little further. But pretty much what Tobit means is, like I said, Yah is good, and Tobias, Yah is goodness, and Sarah means bride, so it means the union between a right goodness, and good, and a righteous bride, And I already told you about the demon, man. That's a very dangerous demon. You gotta take heed to that, especially when it's a demon of lust and gamble and of wrath and revenge, revenge because you're getting close to the Most High. So after edifying, we'll continue it in a little bit. I'm gonna drink some water and clear my throat, because sometimes when you read you get dry mouth, So shalom.